Travesty of Justice, the 400,000th wrestling podcast. This is episode 8, and today we are continuing our WrestleMania count-up with WrestleMania 7, the racist one, and WrestleMania 6 had blackface. Joining us and performing the role of Scooter tonight, who is out with the sorest of throats and the stuffiest of noses, is our good friend Amber. Say hello, Amber.
Hello, Amber.
I get it. That was very funny.
Yes,
she's going to fit right in.
It was a very original joke I just said.
Amber, since the people at home, both of them listening, don't really know you, they know all about how much we obsess over wrestling. When did you start watching wrestling?
I watched wrestling mainly in my early teens during the Attitude Era, where I fell in love with Shawn Michaels.
Right. Yep.
And then when I sort of went to high school, college, I stopped watching until I became friends with you and rekindled my deep-seated love for bad acting and horrible stage combat, and also Shawn Michaels.
Which I love how all of us kind of blame Marty for getting us back into wrestling. Like, you realize this is all your fault.
Pretty much.
It's completely your fault.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 7. 3.5 hours and 2 seconds. And yes, that 2 seconds matters. Because every second is like dragging your dick through broken glass. At least that's how Amber said she felt.
But also your dick is broken glass. You're dragging a dick made of broken glass through broken glass.
That's how vaginas feel, you guys.
Right.
If you'll remember, at the all the way through WrestleMania 6, they kept telling us that you can join all your friends at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, for where over 100,000 people will be in attendance.
All your friends.
All of them.
Actual attendance at WrestleMania 7, 16,158.
That's so sad.
That is slightly less than anticipated.
But they still kept, the entire time, they still kept saying, this is the loudest WrestleMania I've ever heard.
Right.
Okay.
400,000 people bought this shit on pay-per-view. They probably demanded a refund.
That's a lot of people.
Right.
This is happening at the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena in Los Angeles.
They do sports there.
It's true. Right across the street. On March 24th, 1991. Gorilla Monsoon, Jim Duggan, Bobby Heenan, Lord Alfred Hayes, and for some fucking reason, Regin
Philbis
will be joining us on commentary. Before we get into this, Ryan, would you let us know about the exciting albums that came out?
Absolutely. So, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got by Sinead O'Connor ran from April 28th to June 2nd of 1990. And then we already talked about, a couple of the other ones. Step by Step by New Kids on the Block was on their...
That was my jam.
My big sister was 4 years older than me, so let me tell you, I know that album very well. She was like 10 around this time, so...
Actually, this was the year that I went as a New Kid on the Block for Halloween.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Wait, which one? Which one?
Marky Mark, hello.
Yes! Very good.
Not Jordan Knight.
Right, and what's notable about Step by Step by New Kids on the Block is that it was a 1 week interruption in the maelstrom that was Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em by MC Hammer, which trained from June 9th to November 3rd. And then right after that, to the Extreme by Vanilla Ice.
Fuck yeah.
Oh Lord.
So that is to all of our collective shame that this happened. And then leading up to WrestleMania, Mariah Carey's self-titled album.
Oh, Jesus. Moving into the more cinematic side of things, Amber, tell us about some of the movies that popped out.
Well, some of the movies that popped up were some of my favorite movies. Back to the Future 3, the Western one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that one, $82 million box office, which was a pretty modest sum, I think, but it didn't beat out Die Hard 2, the one without Alan Rickman, which made $117 million in the box office. Some fucking how. Goodfellas came out, Rocky 5. I don't remember which one that was.
Oh, that was the horrible one. That was the bad one.
That was the fifth one. But fucking DuckTales the movie came out.
Yeah!
Fucking 18 million. It's really sad, but I owned that shit on VHS, you guys. I watched the shit out of that shit. Edward Scissorhands, Kindergarten Cop, which I still own on VHS.
Oh boy.
Love that
It's not
movie.
a tumor.
And And then in 1991, before WrestleMania 7, we had Silence of the Lambs, which is
no one's ever heard of
fabulous
that
movie.
No one's ever heard of
And
that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which wasn't as good as Teenage Mutant Ninja
Secret
Turtles 1.
of the Ooze.
Speaking of Secret of the Ooze, if you'll remember, Super Shredder comes in at the end.
Yes.
Underneath the helmet is
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
Fuck yeah.
Movies with wrestlers in them.
And I think actually Super Shredder had a wider moveset in that film
That's true.
than Kevin
He
Nash
did
had in
have-
his entire career.
He had a backhand with both hands.
Ah,
Still had terrible mic skills.
he did.
Actually, Kevin Nash wasn't that bad on the mic.
Okay. Maybe it was the Shredder mask.
I think you're thinking of most of the other wrestlers.
Oh, you mean all of them?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Scott Hall was all right because he came out and said, "Hey yo," and then that was the best part of the promo.
No. I'm still thinking back to that promo at Starrcade '98 where he basically came out.
Oh
and it
god,
was like a sad
my life
phone
is in
call.
shambles. Hey yo,
It was like a sad phone call with a relative who ruined their life.
I'm in therapy.
Hey, yo.
Now Ryan likes to
Hey,
talk
yo.
about albums. I care about the number ones, right? Number one on the Billboard charts. Let's just talk about some singles, right? You already mentioned Miss Sinead O'Connor, and nothing compares to the number You, the letter.
Teardrop down my face.
4
that.
weeks in 90. Followed immediately by Madonna's Vogue for 3 weeks.
You can't
Ever
see
stop
it 'cause
doing
this
that?
is a podcast, but I am voguing.
I am also voguing. I feel so close to you right now.
Yay!
Wilson Phillips was not able to hold on for more than one more week. Sorry.
You were waiting
Step
for
by
that.
I was. I've been waiting fucking 8 months
You've been like rehearsing it all day. Like, all right, don't fuck it up, Martin.
in my room. This is the time.
I've been
You only
waiting
get
for
one
my
shot.
whole life.
New Kids on the Block, Step by Step, 3
Yeah.
weeks. Vision of Love by Mariah Carey, 4 weeks, and only having 1 week total on these. Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi.
Oh my god, that is my jam.
The greatest guitar riff of all time, Janet Jackson's Black Cat. And then
I'm so
Ice Ice
into it.
Baby actually was only on number 1 on Billboard for 1 week.
But the album was on there for,
I know.
which
There's a big
is
difference.
which
It's
is
because
weird.
they stole the riff from Under Pressure.
Right. Also, side note, I think Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi might have one of the worst lyrics ever in a light metal song, which was, I'm the horse in your stable. I'm what Cain was to Abel? Mr. Catch Me If You Can.
What?
Listen, he's a horse, and he's in your stable.
He is in my stable.
Right, so, fucking there you go.
Is he my brother that... No, wait. Cain's the one who murdered...
He is the horse that is also
good
your
at
brother.
Ryan,
Right.
I find that if you really look at me, you'll find that I am the table.
And I swear,
Well-
in that moment, we were all the table.
All I'm certain of is that I'm going down in a blaze of glory.
Right,
So,
right.
Were you shot down
Uh,
in a blaze of glory?
and I'm Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Wait, what was the... wait, what movie was that on the soundtrack for?
Young Guns.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my god, I forgot about Young Guns.
Fuck. So the Brat Pack
Amazing.
goes west.
Moving into 1991, Madonna's "Justify My Love" for 2 weeks, which I believe was the video that got like
Super
MTV butt fucked with parents calling.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way,
See,
coming
and
on the heels of her "I Really Want to Fuck Jesus" video for Like a Prayer, I'm like, wait,
Right.
were you guys watching last year? Okay, that's fine.
No, they weren't.
No.
CNC Music Factory's "Gonna Make You Sweat," better known by its parenthetical title.
Everybody dance now.
Bam, 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 bam.
2 weeks. Followed by Someday by Mariah Carey, which led to everyone saying that she has an 8-octave range. Anyone that says that any singer ever has an 8-octave range does not understand music.
That would be
That's
an
the end of the argument.
That would be
Goodbye.
audible only to dogs if it were 8 octaves.
Not entirely true, but that would mean that she can cover a piano, which she fucking can't.
She can do dim runs, though.
She can shut the fuck up. That's what Mariah Carey did. 2 weeks, Someday did. Ryan, are you happy?
Absolutely not.
Good! Here's the major news headlines from 1990.
Good.
Van Gogh's portrait of Dr. Gachet?
Sure.
Van Gogh, you may be remembered being the amazing artist who never sold anything.
And cut off his own ear.
Yes. His painting, Portrait of Dr. Gadget, is sold for a record $82.5 million.
Never saw a single cent of that money.
Nope.
June 1st, H.W. Bush and Gorbachev sign a treaty to stop production of chemical weapons and start destroying their own stockpiles.
So he had a face turn in the public.
Right. June 8th of 1990, the FIFA World Cup is the first broadcast of HD TV in Europe.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Right? July 1st, East and West Germany merged their economies. Hey, guys.
Yeah, that did happen then.
August 2nd, Iraq invades Kuwait.
Yeah, that
Whoops.
also happened. Oh, and then look what happened at WrestleMania. Wait, we'll get to that.
Oh, Jesus.
I should mention that today, the day we're recording this, is actually September 12th. But on September 11th, 1990, Bush gives a televised speech threatening to use force if Iraq doesn't get the fuck out of Kuwait.
Huh.
October 1st.
Weird.
No, I don't think that actually had anything to do with it. Tim Berners-Lee begins work on this thing called the World Wide Web.
That thing that Al Gore invented?
Yeah.
No, he invented the internet. Two totally different things.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
November 13th, the first web page is finished.
It was
The
that.
first known web page.
It was
Was
that
it-
dancing baby from Ally McNeil.
That's probably what it
Was it- was it-
Either that or
Either
the
that,
dancing
the hamster dance. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's either Hamster Dance or it was a GeoCities page for probably Christian Slater around that time.
Are you sad now, Ryan?
I am depressed above all
Then
things
get the
right now.
fuck happy, because during the summer of 1990, J.K. Rowling starts taking some notes on what would become Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
While she's homeless and eating
And-
out of trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While she was
Hey,
doing
sir,
a stint as a trash can.
She was
Moving on
actually a
into
trash can.
1991. January 15th, the UN deadline for Iraq to get the fuck out of Kuwait expires, and they're still not out the fuck of Kuwait. They're still the fuck in Kuwait. Fuck
Yeah,
Kuwait.
that.
February 5th, a court in Michigan tells Dr. Jack Kevorkian, stop fucking killing people.
But they want
That's
to
not
die.
cool. I know, but we just want you to stop doing it.
Oh.
The next day, Street Fighter 2 hits arcades. Coincidence?
Yeah?
I think not.
Wake up, America.
Hashtag. February 13th, 2 laser-guided quote-unquote smart bombs strike an underground bunker in Baghdad, killing hundreds of Iraqis. The United States was like, that was a military installation. And Iraq was all, hey, why are you bombing our bomb shelter? But
Because
Jesus.
it's a bomb.
it is fucking Saddam Hussein's. It's not, people are like, America's evil, and I'm totally like that sometimes, but I'm like, it's not like Saddam can't lie. So I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Mostly,
I don't know.
the world is a giant fruit cocktail of dipshits that are constantly killing each other. Just all the time killing each other.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
13 days later, February 26th, Saddam tells his people, get the fuck out of Kuwait. They're like, okay, we're leaving. But first, I got something this funny thing to do with my lighter. And they set the oil fields on fire.
Yep.
As
Aw,
they pout
bye.
back home.
Bye.
March 3rd, an amateur video captures the beating of Rodney King by LAPD officers.
Which actually...
And then look what happened at WrestleMania.
Oh, please.
Keep that in mind, guys. March 3rd, that happened.
And keep in mind the whole
Yep.
Iraqi
Also,
Yeah.
thing as well.
That might come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and side note, as I was leaving the concert last night, we were trying to call a cab, and we were like making conversation with one of the traffic directing guys, and we were swapping anecdotes about the cops, and I mentioned like, yeah, I mean, I know that they can't make you get out of your car, and if you don't want to, that they have to have a warrant, and he looked at me and was like, don't try that shit in Los Angeles because you will get your ass kicked. You will get beaten to death by the
Damn.
cops, and I'm like. Okay, good. Yeah, that's noted. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, you're white, so
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
something
I'm white, so I'll probably be okay if I.
You're a
pull
little
some shit.
beyond white. Although you are a hipster.
translucent.
I am-
You are a hipster. That is a mark in favor of beating you to death.
Right. So
I
there's that.
think I might... I'm going to put you in the Taz mission at least.
Well, I mean, if you didn't do that, I wouldn't know that you cared.
Gas prices in 1991 are $1.14 a gallon.
I don't
Fuck
care, I
you,
couldn't drive
2014.
Whew.
So the reason that they're not at the LA Memorial Coliseum, they said that they had bomb threats. That
Oh,
a fan
of-
hated Sergeant Slaughter. That much.
Actually, that doesn't really... I feel like that could be legit, because people are stupid.
You know what?
Right.
It is a good story, but no, it's just they couldn't sell the tickets.
All right,
Nobody
well,
fucking cared.
Yeah. So of course it made a good bit of publicity that they were instead of going, well, not enough people showed up to our patriotic circle jerk with folding chairs. They were like, oh, Sergeant Slaughter is such a great heel that we were getting bomb threats, which is way better than we couldn't sell.
Speaking of Sergeant Slaughter, he came back at the end of 1990, and he's now pro-Iraqi sympathizer. Both Savage and Slaughter wanted a championship shot at the Ultimate Warrior, who you'll remember won the title at the end of WrestleMania 6 in the worst fucking match.
I wonder if he can top it this year.
Warrior told Savage, no, you can't have a title shot, and gave one to Slaughter instead at the 91 Royal Rumble. Macho interfered, said, watch this, and Slaughter picked up the dirty win and becomes the new world champion. By the way, at the 91 Royal Rumble, guess who wins the Royal Rumble? Here's a hint. He's the guy that wins everything.
Hulk
Oh,
Hogan?
Hulk
For the second year in a row. Hulk
Holy
Hogan.
shit! You know, I'm really glad that
Excuse
he.
me while I go vomit?
Okay,
I'm really glad that he got the push. You
Look.
know.
right. I can't really say that much about people winning the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row, because Shawn Michaels does it here in a few years, but
And I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
yeah, I'm okay with him because I don't hate him.
I love
Yeah.
Amber, stop doing that.
No.
Okay. I do want to point out the WrestleMania 7 description on the WWE Network, because they have the little Netflix blurbs.
Right.
It says, Hulk Hogan defends the title against Sergeant Slaughter. And I'm like, are you guys sure?
Well, and when you look at,
Yeah, we're totally sure.
which is by the way hilarious, because when you look at the sort of banner image for, you know, like the poster for it, it is literally just Hulk Hogan jerking off an American flag. Like, it looks like Hulk Hogan does Iwo Jima, and then the pay-per-view opens and everything is covered in red, white, and blue, and you're like, I wonder who's gonna win the title bout.
They're even in Sergeant Slaughter's glasses eyes as he goes, grrr.
Pretty
Mother of
much.
God.
I did, they had the big flag match recently at SummerSlam 2014 between Rusev and Swagger, and they had like National Guard members in attendance to like bring out Swagger, and they had all this shit, and people were going for it. Fucking Rusev just kicks his ass. I was like, by the way, that match was fucking awesome.
Honestly, I love how decisively Rusev won that feud,
Oh yeah, he just beat his ass. It was awesome.
and just trounces his Wonder Bread ass every single time.
I really like the pairing between those two. I'm tired of the Cold War angle, but
Yep.
Rusev I really like, and Swagger I really like. That might be a little bit off topic.
Well, I mean, it's the most retro thing in 2014 to see, like, the Russian flag and then Vladimir Putin, and she's, it's goddamn so
That
retro.
only happens in video games now.
America!
I know, right?
Fuck yeah!
Fuck
So
yeah.
that's what they have all the way through the opening. It's just flags everywhere. Sergeant Slaughter, I like how he points at the camera.
Yes.
It's like, Sergeant Slaughter! And he goes, hey.
And there's
he grunts.
he points, and then there's like a pause, and he goes,
Grunts.
Also,
And he looks
and I'd like
grosser
to
than
point
normal.
out, right, and I'd like to point out, like, the way that Sergeant Slaughter laughs. I am, of course, kind of sad that Jesse the Body Ventura is not at this pay-per-view, but at least we have somebody who laughs like Jesse Ventura, where he doesn't move any part of himself but his lower mandible as he goes, like a fucking Muppet. It's great.
He is kind of a Muppet.
Yeah.
He has his head back all the time, and he's just staring at you with his chin out.
Right, and his jaw is bigger than any human being's has any right to
It
be.
is weird. His face is always kind of creeping me the fuck out.
And he doesn't. It doesn't blink. I watched. He doesn't.
He doesn't blink.
Blink.
That's right.
He's basically
Ever.
like Sweetums from the Muppets. Just like...
He'll close his eyes when he gets really passionate about what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. But if his eyes are open, if he's looking at the camera and he doesn't have his glasses on, he doesn't blink. It
He's
weirds
dead-eyed,
me out.
like a shark.
I watched. He literally does not blink.
Oh, God.
As the show opens and we cut to the arena, immediately there's just a fucking close-up of Hulk Hogan's illegitimate son in the crowd. I swear to God, this guy.
The immortal Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
as they
his
call him?
illegitimate son.
Actually, I think you've mispronounced his name. It's Hulk Hogan.
No, that
Oh,
was
God.
only last year.
Oh, right.
Oh,
excuse me.
God.
Kogan.
So tell us about the national or the America the Beautiful this time, Ryan.
Willie fucking Nelson, which, by the way, I do think is a step up from Robert Goulet. And maybe it's just because I lived in Tennessee for a long time and I really like Willie Nelson. But the great thing about it is he comes out with a tiny, tiny championship belt on.
Yeah, here's
And
my baby belt.
It's so
Brett
adorable.
Shades.
Yeah,
Brett Shades.
and Brett Shades, but
and
also
the whole jacket off the flag shirt.
right. And the great thing is, Willie Nelson singing. He doesn't so much do vibrato with his like throat like a normal person. He shakes his entire body to get those notes to shake. So he's like, oh, beautiful.
Well, he's been really old for
Forever.
a long time.
Yeah, I mean he's older
been
than
old
shit.
since before old was a thing.
But I mean, I have to say, I don't normally like it when people sing America type songs because they put all their stupid runs and shit into it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Willie Nelson's shaky vibrato. I was like, okay, I can handle this.
You'll have to go back and watch WrestleMania 5 and watch Rock and Robin.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't make me do it, Marty.
No, but the great thing about that, by the way, side note, is how Jesse the Body Ventura just takes a giant shit on Rock and Robin. Like, right after he's like, well, that was fucking horrible, Gorilla.
I would like to think that he would have liked it if we were around for this one.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know at all, which I don't imagine why you'd be fucking listening to us, Jesse Ventura's not dead at this point.
Oh,
He's just not here.
Well, he's dead to Vince McMahon, surely.
Well, who isn't?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
No, yeah, Willie Nelson, not half bad. Pretty good stuff.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it over Goulet.
Monsoon welcomes Jim Duggan, who comes out in a
You mean hacksaw?
hacksaw Jim.
Hacksaw
What the fuck
Jim
is he
Duggan.
wearing?
With his board that says hacksaw on it?
It does say hacksaw.
But also, it's a patriotic 2x4. He's got a tiny little flag on his fucking 2x4.
He's wearing a tiny little Uncle Sam costume that doesn't fit him.
That shit was pulled out of the nearest costume shop.
Definitely.
And it's like,
I'm pretty sure I could see the Ruby's price tag on it.
well, and I bet that they were wondering, like, wait a minute, how do we fill the void left by Jesse the Body? I know, let's get Hacksaw. And then, fuck me, it was.
He's so American.
I know, right?
Sucks so bad. They run down the card: Macho versus Warrior in our career-ending matchup, Slaughter and Hogan, and I guess some other guys.
Right.
Yay, other guys.
I originally started watching WrestleMania 7 with Ryan over a hangout, and then I forced Amber to watch the rest of it with me, so I didn't have to do it by myself.
I'm so sorry.
But Ryan actually asked me, and I wrote it down, so this is a direct quote. As Jim Duggan is walking out, and we're silent for a moment, just watching this shit happen, and not being able to stop, Ryan said, "What the fuck are we doing with our lives?" Because we're watching this fucking yokel
running out to the ring with,
cocksuck his way down to the ring.
like, his 3 teeth sort of rattling in the breeze as he runs to the fucking commentary booth, and it's
WrestleMania 7 is all about action, and to that point, we start off with an interview segment. The Rockers with Sean Mooney. Marty's like, we're tag team specialists. Duh.
Sean Mooney makes Michael Cole look like Bobby Heenan. Like, he's just a black hole of charisma.
Shawn Michaels, however, is not where he will be, of course. He's very, very green. But this is a huge improvement over his promo from last year. His promo from last year being, "Are we going to do it? We're going to go in there."
He did his best. He did his best Boomhauer last year.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was one of the best promos of the night, honestly. And I think because they didn't yell into the mic, which is the thing that I'm like, if you don't have mic skills, you yell. So at least they were just talking normal. So they had relatively okay mic skills, especially for early Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah.
And Marty Jannetty, who I like to call them Brock Samson or Hercules because
It works.
Yeah. I stand by that.
The first match of the night, the Rockers versus Haku and Barbarian. We do get a bear hug like right at the beginning, but it is immediate bear hug, but it is not eternal. Really nice exchange at the beginning. Just
it was
fun.
Yeah. It was good. Shawn Michaels, really good wrestler, even in the young.
Well, yeah, and you saw little flashes of like, oh shit, this guy's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
It
It was his last year before he was Heartbreak Kid.
Yep. Which, side note, there's a website that sells a shirt that says, I'm Sean, you're Marty. And
That's amazing.
I really want that shirt.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have here, this is why you don't have two faces on commentary. Because they're like, I like the Rockers. I too like the Rockers.
Do you want to tongue their butthole?
Well, sorry, it's
Absolutely.
like, I like the Rockers. I too like the Rockers. Really?
I like them
You
because Shawn Michaels.
I like them because of America.
But I have to say, Barbarian's kind of hot.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I like the double team moves from the Rockers. There's a double hip toss and a double elbow drop, followed by a double kip up. That shit is amazing.
No, yeah, like watching Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels like in unison. Like, I wonder how much these two fucking guys must have practiced together to make sure
It's really.
They
pretty.
tell Haku to fuck out of the ring. Barbarian catches them and turns them both fucking inside out with a clothesline. But then they catch him with a double super kick.
Yeah.
Which
was lovely.
It was beautiful. Of course, it did not kill the Barbarian because it wasn't Shawn's finishing move yet.
Right.
Once it becomes the move that you hit with, hitting L1, then it would have killed him.
He hadn't quite reached his final form yet.
Just so much fun. But, like, Barbarian has never impressed me until this match.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job. Their tag team wasn't terrible. Like, the double headbutt was kind of cool. Like, all their big power moves together looked kind of cool.
Like there's like a double team stun gun.
Well, and the thing that I liked about this pairing for a match is that, like, okay, so you've got the big beefy World Destroyers and Barbarian and Haku, and then the tiny spry High Flyers, and it worked to their strengths, and they both really put over the other guys, and I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I was fairly impressed by the first match of the night of a WrestleMania that I wasn't going to be impressed with.
Yep.
So if you remember WrestleMania 5, Haku hits a backbreaker that just looks amazing. Then he stands up, still holding the guy, and hits him again, and it's just the sloppiest backbreaker. WrestleMania 6, he does one backbreaker, looks around at everybody, and pushes the guy off. And I'm like, you listened. Good. This year, WrestleMania 7, he hits two backbreakers in a row, and they're fucking
both
beautiful.
perfect.
Oh, they're flawless.
Perfect. I was like, I put my hands on my face. I was like, those backbreakers were beautiful.
Yeah, and it looked, and they sold it like so well. I was like,
Oh my god.
That man is dead now.
So hard.
Yeah, and after that, we get a bear hug. But you know what? These guys fucking deserve a rest spot.
give them a rest hold. They've done a lot.
Yeah.
The Barbarian did a mid-air reversal that I just thought was just gorgeous.
God, I mean, it caught him. He caught I think he was catching Shawn.
Yeah, it was Shawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, top rope cross from Shawn.
And he just caught him like it was, and he flipped. Oh, it was so pretty.
Yeah,
So pretty.
top rope drop kick from Marty, followed by a top rope crossbody from Shawn. Lets the Rockers pick up the 3. I had a lot of fun with this match.
Yes.
Yep.
Ryan, let me hear your rating.
I gave it a 5 out of 5, which, when I say that, I wanted to give it a 4 out of 5 because but then I thought about it and I'm like, okay. At first I was like 4 out of 5, and then I was like, okay, asshole, I said to myself, what would it take for you to make this a 5 out of 5? And I'm like, one of them jumps off a ladder through a table. I'm like, you do realize it is 1991? And I'm like, yes. So I was like 5 out of 5.
Okay, I definitely like that. Scooter, who is voting in absentia today, gave this a 4. Scooter and I basically agreed on most things tonight. I give it a 4 as well. I cannot say what would make this a 5, but it just was not quite there. I'm very stingy with my 5s, for the 3 of you that have ever listened to the show know. Amber.
I also gave it a 4 for sort of unknown reasons. I can't. Yeah, I can't tell you what would have made it a 5, even though I am desperately in love with Shawn Michaels.
Right.
What
if he had pulled his ass out?
I mean,
Right.
maybe.
Full
Wait for
Nelson.
WrestleMania 10.
I think it might have just been. I think it might have just been the Rockers' opponents. If they're not that they were bad, because they were better than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Guys like that before, but I don't know. Maybe if they'd had some cooler opponents, but
Yeah.
it was my favorite match of the night. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very sad, because now we're going to talk about
Yeah, but this is our last, yawp of happiness before, alright, we move on to our next match.
Now we're going to cry for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Finally, after all this shit, Jim Duggan
Oh,
lost.
thank God.
After the one match, and that was enough.
That was great.
We cut to the back. Regis Philbin, Marla Maples, who? Alex Trebek, and Mean Gene.
You mean awkward guy, hot girl, and other awkward guys?
And then Mean Gene.
Yes.
Gene says it can get very steamy in the men's locker room.
Ha ha!
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Sexy.
Or wrestling, as I like to call it.
Oh, you know.
Trebek and Gene go through a spot where it's like an homage to Jeopardy, but it just sucks.
And I love that you say it's like an homage to Jeopardy because mostly I just wanted to gouge out my own fucking eyes.
Did Alex Trebek was calling him Jim a joke? Because me and Gene had just gotten done saying, my close, personal, longtime friend, Alex Trebek. And then he goes, good to be here, Jim. And Mean Gene goes, it's Gene! And then they go into the Jeopardy thing. But I was like, was that a joke? I don't know.
Was he just really hurt? He's like, I
know.
swear to God. Yeah.
They come back from it to the ring, and they cut. Bobby Heenan has already sat down. He already has the headset and mic on, and he is screaming at Monster.
and he says
Christmas has come early.
it's the first time in this WrestleMania where he says ham and eggers, which is the strangest.
Yeah, that's not the word that I thought he said.
Right.
No, it never
I remember
is.
that text from you, Ryan. Said, did he just he just call him
Ham and eggers.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
And actually I looked it up, and a ham and egger, apparently, is just like Joe Fuck Sports Bar. Like the guy that doesn't do anything particularly notable. He goes to work and goes home.
Cool?
So he's a jobber?
Yeah.
No,
like
he's
an
not.
an
Maybe.
IRL jobber.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go to Dino Bravo versus the Texas Tornado. I saw these two guys and I said, well, that went downhill pretty fast.
Yeah.
I was excited after that
You
first
mean
match.
immediately?
And already, this is an emotional roller coaster because great first match, but unfortunately with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And then Bobby Heenan jumps over onto commentary, and I'm like, thank God. And then Dino Bravo, and I just, God damn it.
They start hot and heavy. Bravo clotheslines him out. Heenan, true to form.
Dino hadn't even taken his coat. He didn't let him take his coat off.
No.
Heenan immediately starts saying that Tornado's career is over. Because that's what... Hulkamania is dead! If you remember, 94 to 96 in WCW, every single pay-per-view, that's what Heenan said. Hulkamania is dead.
Well, it was dead.
I mean, to be fair, he's not wrong.
It was more of a warning than what was going on right now.
Long.
Bravo manages to botch an atomic drop.
How do you botch?
Very good.
He botched everything.
Yeah.
Every single move, he was like, I'm about to do it. Oh, never mind. I
He
forgot
fucked
I
up
can't
his
wrestle.
side slam,
Oh, Jesus.
which
He fucked up everything.
Monsoon calls a side suplex.
Yeah, I noticed
That is
that.
not a side suplex. You fat shit, it is not a side
I'm going
suplex.
to do it. I'm going to do it. Oh, forgot. Can't wrestle.
Tornado hits the iron head squeezy, then hits the tornado spinning round, look at me spinning round punch. And that gets him a
Strongest man
3.
in the world, indeed.
Amber, what are your thoughts on this match? What's your rating?
Can I give it lower than a 1?
You cannot.
We've tried.
One.
We've tried. You can't.
We have, as it turns out. Ryan.
As they said, it doesn't look like that bad of a storm. Hey, Monsoon.
I didn't hear that line.
Hey,
Yeah,
Monsoon.
he said
I
that
wish
about,
I still
he
had.
said that about the Texas Tornado, who, and I texted Marty when this happened, did the worst finisher I've ever seen in my entire life. That twirly punch that didn't actually hit Dino, and he still fell down and said, alas, I am dead.
Have you ever seen The Worm?
Who did
We
that?
don't talk about the worm.
Scotty Too Hottie.
Have you seen the 5-knuckle shuffle?
Have you seen The People's Elbow? Ryan, what did you give
1
this
out of
match?
5. I wanted to die.
His finisher is called it's called the Texas Tornado. He is also called the Texas Tornado. And it's worse than the 5-knuckle shuffle. I'm sorry. It's
That's
worse.
true. And actually, I just picture when he was like, haha, a storm, Monsoon. I just pictured him pausing. I pictured Gorilla Monsoon pausing going, don't fucking patronize me, Bobby.
I'm pretty sure that was how he responded, because the entire time they were talking, Monsoon keeps talking about how he was going to Just get him kicked out.
This
Whatever.
match was not good.
No.
I don't think this match killed my parents like it did Amber and Ryan.
It killed my parents.
Scooter and I both ended up giving this one a 2.
Justify it. Justify it.
Yeah, you better not fucking give me.
I did not. I knew that there was room for this match to fall farther than it did, and I was justified later.
So
in the
you
show.
would give Torque Wrench Tonsillectomy a 2 out of 5 because you're like, well, at least they didn't soak it in battery acid. Like, and it
Yes.
could always be worse. That's not an argument for something.
It's not Andre and John Studd.
Well.
My 5s are reserved for 5s, and my 1s are reserved for 1s.
I see.
Look, the best part about this match was the color commentary.
Absolutely.
The wrestling match that was going on between those two. Because Bobby Heenan threw Monsoon under the bus about 6 times.
I think
Monsoon would say something and he'd go, "You say that, right, Bobby?" And he'd go,
if this had
I never said that.
Absolutely not.
if this had happened later in the card, it probably would have gotten a 1. If the crowd was not as into it as they were, because they were fucking up.
The people are...
Were they?
They
The
were.
people don't know what...
I didn't notice.
People
I
are
was
dumb.
Too busy crying.
The people
If-
don't know
if
what they
either
need.
of those things had not been there, it probably would have been a 1.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, Dino Bravo... I'm so disappointed because a guy called Dino Bravo, I would imagine some, like, Jersey douchebag coming in, like the Evil Fonz, and that I would be into, but then Dino Bravo just is an abortion in tights. I hate him.
I think it's because of Rocky 5. I blame Rocky.
It could be. I blame Rocky 5 for a lot of things.
We cut to Warlord in the back, who is
Oh
with
my
Slick
God.
now.
The Doctor of Style, don't you know?
All right.
Finn Godfather.
Yes. Okay.
Racism.
Slick says he's going to fix the Bulldog.
Like he's going to
Warlord
neuter him?
says no one has ever escaped the full Nelson.
Full
Nelson.
We cut to the British Bulldog, who now has Winston.
Winston. Oh my god.
Give me that dog.
Where
Give
did
it.
Matilda go?
I don't know, but give me that
I
dog.
know, I was looking at that dog
I
like,
want
oh
it.
my god, this bulldog is having the
I want
best day of his life.
I want it.
So happy.
Bulldog says he's going to escape the full Nelson. What he is really saying is, yes, you are going to get your signature hold on.
Like, don't get,
But I'm gonna break.
like, don't get me wrong.
But it'll be cool.
I will get put in the full
It's just your finishing move. It's like, yeah, Ric Flair, you'll probably put me in the figure 4, but after
I am
that,
going to wiggle toward the rope so hard.
you don't even know.
These people paid for the full Nelson. They're gonna get the full
You
Nelson.
give the people what they fucking want when they want the full Nelson.
But actually,
true.
it was more like a 3/4 Nelson because
It was
he never launched the
I would say it's a
fingers, Marty.
7/8 of a Nelson.
Okay. Whatever.
Ryan, did you know that there's no bull in that British Bulldog?
I was not aware of that. That's
It's a match of pure power.
my god. Look, humanity has to know its limitations.
As we come back to the ring, Heenan tells us there's only one WrestleMania. This is WrestleMania
Oh
7.
my god.
I know what it means.
No.
Warlord
I don't.
versus the British Bulldog. Warlord does not get an entrance.
No,
Nope, he's
no,
already
fuck
up there.
him.
With his racist manager.
Yeah.
Bulldog manages to get a pretty big pop from the crowd, despite the fact that he is not vomiting American flags. And before this match starts, I'm going to go ahead and crack open another alcoholic beverage.
Very good.
He's wearing the English flag. He's coming out to their national anthem. And the fans are really excited to see two muscles running into each other.
Well, they're the same colors, so I think that it works.
Yeah, and also I'd like to point out, is this the first time Davey Boy Smith has been billed as the British Bulldog instead of Davey Boy Smith?
I think
there you go.
Is it?
Yeah, because like previously he was in a tag team, of course, with Dynamite Kid, and they were the British Bulldogs.
Well, it's definitely the first WrestleMania where that's
Right.
and that's all we really care.
Yeah.
Warlord reverses a crucifix into a Samoan drop, and the crowd
Actually-
just goes, ooh, and I was like,
Really nice, actually.
oh yeah.
That crucifix
I was
was
like,
actually
fuck
really
yeah,
nice.
guys.
Dude, British Bulldog is so
And then
underrated.
proceed to elbow check.
Yeah, and you know what, after that match, after that hit, I was like, fuck yeah, and then we get a bear hug.
But and elbow drops. Elbow drops, elbow drops,
Elbow
elbow
drops.
drops.
And then
elbow
wrestle.
drops.
We get a pretty decent belly to belly suplex.
There was a nice drop kick in there.
Monsoon calls it a belly to belly gut wrench suplex.
That's not.
That's not a
what
thing.
What? What does that even look like? A belly? Okay, wait. Gut. No.
Monsoon mentions the capacity crowd, as you can clearly see an empty seat in the third row. There is actually a decent drop kick from Bulldog.
There's a nice drop kick.
No, actually, Bulldog kind of kept this match moving.
And then Tim turnbuckle.
This match is definitely just
He carried Warlord kicking and screaming through a decent match.
Bulldog charges into a big boot. The audience gives another huge oh.
What is a size 14 boot right to the face?
And then we get a full Nelson.
Nelson, 7/8 Nelson.
And then he breaks a full.
It's
Nelson.
sort of like
I never saw that one.
It's not quite a full Nelson. It's more like a Fu Nelso. It couldn't afford the
Fu Manchu.
Yeah,
he is half a man, a man.
That was totally unexpected.
Bulldog hits his running power slam. I like it.
It is. It's nice. I mean,
no one cares about it these days. But
no, I mean, Randy Orton makes the power slam look like he's just murdered a man.
Oh yeah, but Randy Orton doing this move just wouldn't work.
Well, because the whole match, obviously, they're like, he can't pick him up. He's too big. He's too strong. And then he does the power slam.
Yep.
So when he does the power slam, it's actually a very pretty power slam.
And actually,
he had going for
right, and actually, side note, I feel like the British Bulldog may be one of the physically strongest dudes that Vince ever had working for him. Like, this guy could lift a whole lot of weight.
Yeah, I mean, friggin'
He's no Mark Henry.
the Warlord is big.
Yeah, but also he's actually ambulatory and fun to watch, which sets him apart from Mark Henry.
It's very true. However, if you ever lift weights ever and want to feel bad about yourself...
Oh, I do both.
Every day?
Google John Cena squat.
Oh, no.
It is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. It's like 500 plus pounds. Fucking ass below grass.
You already know my feelings.
And, and then, like, his deadlift, like 700 pounds. There's a video of, like, Mark Henry deadlifting 900 something pounds. Just like, because...
Mark Henry is a legend.
Mark Henry is scary. He's sexual chocolate.
He did once impregnate Mae Young with a hand. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that bears talking about.
A white hand.
Yeah, a white hand, oddly enough.
So, sorry, we're eating grapes here and they're fucking delicious. This is the best.
Delicious.
This is the single best recording session I've ever had.
I'm excited for you.
I'm in Amber's glorious home.
You guys are gonna put me on the podcast more often because I'll give you.
Because I'm gonna have grapes and fucking.
Is Alex feeding you those grapes off camera and?
Oh my god!
And fanning you with a palm frond.
Alex is probably naked upstairs.
Oh, good.
Hot.
Awesome.
Can you edit that part out?
BRB.
Yeah. Marty, what did you give this match?
I gave it a 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Scooter gave it a 2.
Oh.
Ryan gave it a
3.
And Amber gave it a
3.
Wow.
And I gave it a 3 and not a 2 because puppy.
Right? Oh my god, me too.
Because he picks up the puppy and the dog was like, I won the match! Yeah! And I was like, puppy, and I'm such a girl for puppies.
No, me too. And the thing is, like, this match could have just been called, like, Cool Dog Has a Chill Day. Because Winston just looks like everything is coming up Millhouse, and I am excited for this dog.
Can we, like, please edit the beginning promo and then the end when he picks the dog up, and that's the whole thing? It's just the dog being super excited about living.
I did it.
That would be a 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a 5 for me. Dog is a 5.
Right there.
The Nasty Boys with Jimmy Hart and Gino Okerlund. They tell us that the Hart Foundation is going to find out what a nasty sensation is all about. Gross.
Yeah.
Then they wipe their nose on Gene's hanky.
And
a lot.
Apparently it smelled bad because he did that.
I think I was here.
Face.
I was here watching that with you for that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's like all these wrestlers know how to do is scream. And then it cuts to Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Who was also screaming.
And he just starts screaming, and I died.
And that's all they do.
All of this stuff just makes me appreciate guys like Jake Roberts so much more. For not constantly screaming.
Yeah, I like wrestlers that have enough of a mic skill to not
Yeah,
scream.
and actually...
I get that it's some of them, it's their thing, but...
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like, also with the Nasty Boys, it's so funny because when I try getting my friends into, wrestling because... like, I'm a relatively smart person, and my friends are way smarter than I am, and so I feel like I try finding things in wrestling that would appeal to a person whose brain is not made of an empty Pabst Blue Ribbon box. And then you get promos like the Nasty Boys, like, wiping nose, and I'm like, you're ruining everything.
They called the Heart Foundation Pink and Stink.
Right, and I'm like, God damn it, would you guys stop fucking up so I can get my friends to like you?
I was like, does Stinkin' Pink, is that
Is
that a shocker reference?
It's a vagina and a butthole.
I know, but did they know that when they called the Heart Foundation the Stinkin' Pink?
I don't
Well,
know.
it's not, it's,
Well, because that's what I
well,
wondered.
it's not Stinkin' Think. No.
Also, then it cuts to the Heart Foundation, Anvil screaming, obviously.
Right.
And they say that Anvil screaming, Sags and Knobs, which are the worst names ever, by the
Good
way.
stuff.
You say you're gonna break the foundation. You say you're gonna crack the foundation. And then he says, well, in order to do that, you have to be at the bottom of the foundation. And that's exactly where you are.
Yeah.
So does
So
that
they are
mean
gonna
that,
break the
So does
foundation.
that mean that they can break the foundation? And then Hitman Bret Hart starts saying some other stuff about how they're scum and they're gonna stay at the bottom, and you need heart to wrestle, and they don't
get it.
have heart. And I just kept screaming, your metaphors are bad, and you should feel bad.
Bret Hart gets better with a microphone, but he doesn't get great with a microphone.
He's better than the other three people screaming.
He is, but
I'd
so
like
is
to take this-
anybody on this podcast.
I'd like to take this opportunity to do what I do every podcast, which is
and shit on Bret
shit
Hart.
on Bret Hart. But I've already said that, so there you go.
Okay.
Poor Bret Hart.
Yep.
Moment of silence for grapes.
I think he's doing.
No,
all
he's
right.
dead. He's dead.
Oh, is he okay?
Bret Hart?
Well, to me, anyway. Right, moving on.
Jesus. Macaulay Culkin is there.
I give him a 4. I give him a 4.
Looks like the cameraman falls off the apron as Sags and Brett start off. We get some punches and we get some slaps.
Oh,
The
God.
Nasty Boys cannot... This is like sub-demolition wrestling.
Sags gave the worst backbreaker I've ever seen. Ugh, it was so bad.
Yeah. But you know what the highlight of the Nasty Boys were? The best thing that happened for them the entire match was having Jimmy Hart in that fucking outfit on the side of the stage with the helmet and the jacket and... yeah, if they could have just focused the camera on Jimmy Hart anytime the Nasty Boys were doing a move, this would have been a way better match.
I don't think he had the megaphone for this match. He did in the first match he was in, but I don't think he
Dude,
had
his outfit was so loud he didn't need a megaphone.
Someone took his megaphone.
Sags sold a punch all the way outside the ring. The Nasty Boys do not have a great moveset, but they sold like $1 million. And this match was basically Bret Hart forever. And
Also rest holds.
They made Bret Hart really look like a star. Like Bret Hart starts to really come into his own around this time.
He looked good.
He looked like $1 million
I
fucking
didn't
dollars.
think any of them wrestled too badly. It just was sort of boring at the same time.
It was a little bit boring. That there were some rest holds, but at
Wait,
the time,
I'm sorry, there were some rest holds? It was a giant rest
Shut your
hold.
fucking mouth.
There's one big...
But the thing is, this one to me, think about it this way, Ryan. If you did not hate Bret Hart more than everything else in the world,
Okay.
this is the first time that you really get to see Bret Hart showcasing his Russian leg sweep, which, come on,
Yeah. No, it would be a good thing to watch. I'd go, oh, that guy's pretty good at wrestling, and I would promptly forget about him as everything about him is forgettable.
the Bret's rope elbow drop. The fans are really behind Bret. In fact, they get a let's go Bret chant. They are calling out a tag team member by his name.
They were excited about Dino Bravo versus the Texas Tornado.
Not Hitman, but Bret.
You're just determined to shit in my mouth on this.
It's true.
Well, I can't. You know what? I can't taste it because it tastes like.
Oh, there you go.
This match did me mad, though, because as you both know, I am a total mark.
That's
and I
true.
couldn't figure out why it was okay for Knobs and Sags to both be in the ring at the same time, but not
For
both of them.
Anvil and Brett. Yeah, that's true, and I feel like...
Yeah, every time they did it, the ref, who was doing a tremendous job keeping
Right.
order, would yell at them, and I marked out and screamed.
And like tag matches during this period were like
at the end get a hot tag to Anvil.
yeah. Well, I mean, like tag matches during this period were pretty much no man's land. Like there were no rules to govern this shit.
Apparently not.
They're like one of the nasties tries to hit Brett with a megaphone. Brett ducks. We get a hot tag to Anvil. The megaphone goes out into the crowd.
Oh, we did have a megaphone. That's right.
Security goes and gets it.
Breaking some kid's heart.
So they can finish the spot. We get a heart attack in the ring. Jimmy throws the megaphone in. Sax catches it, hits Brett, and Knobs.
Oh, a heart! I'm sorry. I thought you literally said that someone had a heart attack in the ring. I'm like, I didn't even notice. That's how great they were.
His finisher is called the heart.
Yeah.
Jimmy falls down and has an orgasmic seizure on the outside of the ring with belts.
And the new tag team champions are the Beastie Boys.
Or the Rhinoplasty Boy. I don't. Yeah. As far as forgettable tag teams go, I feel like the Nasty Boys are like.
I had fun with it.
How come the Nasty Boys theme song isn't
Nasty Boys?
by Janet?
By Janet Jackson.
Was that song out
Miss
yet?
Jackson.
Maybe
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
Yeah, it was out. Nasty Boys was on Pleasure Principle, which was before Rhythm Nation 1814.
Okay. So then they missed an opportunity.
Yeah, they really did.
Just throwing that out there.
At least I think so.
The Beastie Boys missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, you nasty. I just remember the video for Pleasure Principle because Janet Jackson did a backflip in it. But it's like, I swear to God, it's one of my earliest memories.
And it left an indelible mark on your young brain.
I watched that video over and over and over. I was like, she does a backflip. This is the same time I was like in dance, dancing to like Miss You Much or something. So I had a pretty sweet childhood. Yeah, all the chicks digged me.
Yeah.
They kicked me in the balls.
I mean, I'm going nuts right over here right now just hearing about it.
You're doing what about my nuts?
Well, I mean, it's like they may have kicked you in the genitals, but they were still touching your genitals. So, like, win-win?
Right? That's basically a...
Basically.
That's what I
know,
said.
right?
It's a podcast. They can't see those waggly eyebrows. Marty.
Oh, I could feel them. I can feel them in Los Angeles.
The entire distance was covered by
It's true.
The match is about 94% Bret Hart.
That's not how you pronounce wrestles.
Scooter and I both gave this an A3. What did you give it, Ryan?
Why, I gave it a 2. There were many
Piece of shit.
There were many moments of technical proficiency on the part of Bret Hart. But the rest of the match was entirely rest holds. The Nasty Boys can't fucking wrestle, and it went on way too goddamn long. 2 out of 5. Amber, what did you give it?
I gave it a 2.5. I know we don't do points here, but
So a
I
2,
was
gotcha.
I was a 2 because while I like Bret Hart more than you do, I agree. It lasted a little too long for what we were getting out of it, and the rest holds were. I mean, if you're gonna have a match where that takes that long that you need rest holds for 12 minutes, why don't you just end the match?
Right.
I don't. But I guess they had to stall for time.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Because WrestleMania.
Right.
Speaking of time, it's time for the video promo package with Rick Martel and Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake was sprayed by Arrogance, which is Rick Martel's perfume. He went blind, he DDT'd Brother Love, and then he cut his short promo.
He had one sclera lens in his eye because those are expensive.
Right.
Martel gets a theme, but no entrance.
Nope.
This is a blind hood match.
Hey, wait, but I have to ask, do snakes really have 6 senses? Like, is that a thing?
What would the 6th sense be? Like, snake senses?
He says snakes
Parcel
have 6
tongue.
senses.
No, that's
Parcel tongue. Do they...
And I know that they smell with their tongues, but that's sort of like 2 senses in one, so wouldn't they have, 4 senses?
Yeah. Listen, are we
It was weird.
Are we debating the science of Jake Roberts' promos? Because if we are...
Well, if he's going to throw science in there, I want it to be backed
I would
up.
agree. You should have some citations for that.
Anyway.
Fucking bringing up Snopes in a promo.
We're going to bring the smoking gun to bear on Jake Roberts' promos.
This is the match of Bob the Thing Bobberts versus Bob the Other Thing Bobberts.
Rick the Model Martel versus Jake the Snake Roberts.
Good God.
Yeah.
Um,
Bob the Thing Bobberts is what I
Yeah,
said.
exactly.
So the moment that this starts, this blind hood match, Jake reaches in and scratches his nose, and you can see him. You can totally see that it's a see-through mask.
You can see the mesh square that's right in front of his eyes that you can't see on television, or probably from far away, but you see his hand just very clearly through the mesh rectangle that goes over his eyes, so he can very clearly see.
Good job, WrestleMania.
It was so obvious, and I laughed hard.
Yeah, and also, side note, whose godforsaken fucking shit-brained idea was this match?
Can you imagine how good Jake the Snake and Rick Martel would have been in a match?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, all right.
You mean actually wrestling?
Yeah. It's like,
Yes.
all right, we've got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man. They're going to have a great match. Or we could hog-tie both of them, and they will have a wiggle match where they both have to writhe on the floor until one of them falls over and gets pinned.
Actually, I might watch a wiggle
Actually,
match.
you know,
that sounds more interesting than a blind bag
I say
match.
that, but then I'm like, I would watch a wiggle match. That sounds nice.
Yeah. We can have one later.
Aw,
maybe.
shit.
Well, they were on during the blind hood match. They were on the honor system.
Right.
So
They were.
it made it wrong.
Most of my notes for this match is just ... The
one part in this match that I thought was pretty good. This match is still a fucking black hole of one, but
Oh, that goes without saying.
the back body drop spot was pretty funny.
You're gonna have to.
Rick Martel tried to give him a back body drop, but he just ran around him. And Rick Martel stayed bent over for a long time until he's like, he should have come back by now.
Maybe he really was blind for a minute.
Right. I kind of wanted to see one of them, like, being a fucking madman and just running forward and windmilling and running into barricades.
That would have at least been slightly interesting.
Yeah.
DDT for the 3 at the end. What the fuck was this? Damien puts Jake in a chokehold, and I give it a 1.
DDT
Scooter gives it a 1. Amber gives it a
1.
Ryan gives it a
Fought 1. It was a 1. Obviously.
You know, but that's when we started hearing about the humanoids. You know, the
Yes.
human-shaped objects in the crowd.
Oh, God.
The 20,000 human-shaped objects.
Although, actually,
Bobby Heenan-
side note here, some part of me almost wanted to give it a 2 for the fact that they were basically playing hot and cold with the audience.
That was kind of funny. And somebody said that Rick should have put on a shirt in order to fool Jake into thinking it was the ref, and I was like, brilliant!
If he would have just carried a shirt with him.
Yeah, and put on a shirt. And like, again, it was funny where they're both pointing and the audience is, you know, screaming, but it was still like, they would stand there pointing like, over here, and the audience would be like, wah! And they'd be like, or over here? Wah! Like, slightly more subdued, wah! And it was just like, I am praying for death.
It was so bad. It was like,
I imagine it would have been almost interesting if you were there.
Maybe. No.
If
you were
it had
6?
lasted 6 minutes less. If it was a 1 minute thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It did last for 8 fucking minutes. 8.5 fucking minutes.
If they had played the theme song from Benny Hill the entire time.
Yeah, that might have done.
Yeah.
This was not the longest match. So far, this has been the 3rd longest match on the card.
Lasted way too long for what
I
they were
agree,
doing.
Yeah.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka versus...
The Undertaker.
Undertaker! Fun fact, Ryan, my dad sang the first theme song for The Undertaker when he was still in underground.
Are you
wrestling.
shitting me?
No, I'm not. Do you want to hear what the lyrics were?
Oh, more than life itself, Amber.
Undertaker! And that was my impression of how my dad sang back then, too.
That's still a lot better than American Badass.
Yeah, no, that's...
Yeah, I was so stoked when my dad told me that.
Oh my god.
I was like, are you kidding? Like, apparently because he used to wrestle underground in Nashville. And my dad was a musician.
So wait,
at the time.
was he mean Mark Callis at that point?
No, he was
Oh, there
Undertaker. Because it was the first time he was Undertaker. And my dad did the first quote-unquote theme song for him, which was just my dad screaming the name Undertaker.
Basically doing Trogdor, but with the word Undertaker?
Over with like a guitar riff.
That's incredible.
I know, right?
I mean,
Best-
when you're going for like otherworldly avenging force or like old West Mortician zombie, really what you want is like Undertaker.
That's exactly what my dad
Fuck
did,
yeah.
and I loved him even harder than I already did.
Undertaker jumps 20 feet in the air for a clothesline.
He does do
Yeah.
that.
This
That
is his
happened.
first WrestleMania. He was introduced at the Survivor Series last year. He was Ted DiBiase's mystery partner.
Kane, the Undertaker.
This was the start of the streak.
And the Undertaker suplex from the apron brings him in like halfway through the ring. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
stuff.
it looked like he died.
Springboard
he was
crossbody
already
Well, again.
from Superfly gets sort of caught. Undertaker has to set him down and pick him back up to give him the tombstone.
And Snuka.
So I was like, it's only at WrestleMania.
It's
Don't
fine.
worry.
Don't-
and
He makes up for it at
and
20.
Snuka is no spring chicken by this point.
Right. He looks like he fucking murders them with the tombstone, though. So, yeah. That's
The only note I have for this match is a blowjob is happening. Because there was one moment where it was like Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan level, a blowjob is happening pose.
I actually didn't write any notes for this except to tell you that about my dad. Like, that's literally the only note I
Fucking
had.
mission
I
accomplished.
mean, it gets over the fact that the Undertaker's like supernatural and unbeatable. It's short. It is
very short, which I loved.
4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not nothing one way or the other. It's a 3 for me. Scooter disagrees, gives it a 2.
Huh. I gave it a 3 just because it was like, all right, it puts Undertaker over as being a big scary guy. What kills the man? So yeah, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I also gave it a 3. I love Undertaker, and this was the first time we really saw him get to do a thing for a minute. And the match was really short, which at this point I was just dying for the matches to end.
So happy.
Because they were so bad. So I gave it that extra point boost just because it was short.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior versus the Macho King.
Or Warrior versus Macho, or 2 bowls of angry fruity pebbles do glorious battle.
I like that much better.
Right.
Featuring Scary Sherry. Sensational Sherry.
Yes.
Scary sensational
I love her.
Sherry, who's hot.
Dude, she's so great.
She's not.
She totally.
No. She's hot. She's hot in a way that makes you argue with your own genitals for finding her attractive. Because
Okay.
No, she's just hot.
I'll take your words for it, because
Look at her without all the crazy makeup.
I mean, I can't, because she won't.
yeah, I have no frame of reference for her without crazy
just-
makeup.
She's just hot.
Well then.
But there is more fringe than your body has room for on the in the
Good
ring
God,
right
so
now.
much. It,
true.
it looks like 2 angry
So much
Swiffers
fringe.
are just punching the shit out of each
I
other.
mean, do you guys know how much fringe costs? It's kind of expensive.
I haven't
and
purchased it. I know.
those guys bought out the fringe.
I was
shop
not.
pretty
I was
quick.
not aware of the fringe
I want
market.
to open a fringe shop.
And also, Ultimate Warrior had a airbrush jacket
Yes.
with his and Macho Man's face airbrushed on the back of it in a.
And then he took off his jacket.
ridiculous.
And there was a belt on his ass. And it said, "This means more than this," or something like
Yeah,
that.
he
Means more than this.
went to the airbrush kiosk in the mall that
Yeah.
day and just spent
On the way
like
in.
heaps and heaps of $10 bills.
Heenan immediately points out Liz in the audience.
She's
about-
so pretty and
Oh,
sad
she's
and
so
How about the
elegant.
entrance for
sparkly
Warrior?
and she's the lovely Elizabeth.
She's such a pretty lamp. Look at how that lamp sits in that chair.
She's so shiny.
Why did Warrior walk to the ring? Did he forget his own gimmick?
I
Yes,
think so.
probably.
He was trying to show off the airbrush that he spent literally $10 on.
Listen,
There's probably about a good half hour of posing before anything happens in this match.
yeah.
Oh Lord Jesus!
He does. Macho, to his credit, makes Warrior look like a superhero. He sells like Macho Man.
Yeah,
for
and
him.
then also Warrior either oversells or no sells. He has no setting between off and high.
Warrior hits an atomic drop and then an inverted atomic drop. Sherry's on the outside just screaming, "No!"
Who put her in that dress?
Me.
That thing that was made out of beads
Yes.
that was falling apart.
Marty,
Ridiculous.
It is not a WrestleMania without like a camera directly inside of her butthole.
See, this is what you get for bringing a costumer onto a wrestling podcast, because I'm just going to talk about...
episode 8 of Travesty of Justice. Marty kind of wants to fuck Sherry... No, absolutely wants to fuck Sherry Martel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marty wants to
Every
fuck
time the camera focused in on her butthole that she was so prominently displaying for all to
Right.
see, for all the tens of people there to see, they just zoomed in, and you could see it all.
Yep.
I'm sure it's a very nice butthole.
I would have. I have no doubt. Also,
speaking of nice
You'd
bottles, Sherry runs into the ring so Macho can get thrown at her. Apparently, nobody got tired of that spot last year. Warrior shows Undertaker how to catch someone from a crossbody, but then just sets him down and slaps him.
yeah. Which, by the way, how the fuck is a face slap supposed to be like a good guy move?
Right?
Like I saw that and was like, oh, you're such a good guy. Okay.
Warrior kicks Macho in the corner a few times, and they count, 1, 2, all the way up to 10. Then he kicks him again. They're like, 11.
Also,
there was a pause.
They can't count that high.
There was a
Marty.
pause.
it's true. Also, during this match, Warrior was absolutely stiffing Macho.
Oh yeah,
It's his
He's a cocksucker.
destiny to lose.
Yeah.
Warrior flies out after missing a stinger splash. Sherry picks him up, leans over directly in front of the camera. Monsoon says this is the largest pay-per-view audience of all time.
Yeah, he does say that.
It is not.
No, it's not.
Last two were larger. They clothesline each other, and I have here kill me.
Was it
The finisher was a shoulder tackle.
right? And then also, wasn't there a
And-
callback to last year's main event?
Somewhere, but I didn't care.
The pin was just a Warrior standing on top of Macho King.
Which is also a heel move to like do the showboat pin.
Yeah.
Monsoon calls Warrior the Warlord.
I missed
Monsoon
that.
has a giant canteen of Robitussin that he has been drinking for the last 5 years.
Savage hits his elbow drop from the top rope, and then he performs it again. He does it 5 times total. And then Warrior kicks out.
I was screaming at this point. Like, oh, okay, yeah, you've done 5 of your finishing move to me, and I'm like, no, I kick out of. And it's just, oh, God, I just hate Warrior so much.
But I don't think Warrior was the one that probably had that. Do you think Warrior put this match together?
Well, it was either Warrior or a 6-year-old, because it looks like it was booked by a 6-year-old. The spots in this match were,
They're not
not great.
No. There were spots.
Thankfully,
Well,
though, Warrior lands his move on Savage.
Move, air quotations.
His fucking let me. Foul
Wait,
you.
which move would that be? Would it be he hits the guy like so hard, or is it he falls in him
The shoulder-
like a hefty bag of vegetable soup dropped from a tree?
That
Oh,
one.
okay.
The second one.
the shoulder.
And Savage does kick out.
Oh, there you go.
Warrior starts saying that it is his destiny to lose.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's his destiny
To lose.
But then he doesn't.
Savage goes for his top rope throat crusher thing. Warrior moves and screams, "Now I know." Why was moving the sign like from the gods? He was.
I'll be honest, I kind of zoned.
Yeah,
He hits him
you're
with a
right.
shoulder
I also went
tackle.
into a fugue state.
He hits Savage with a shoulder tackle. His finishing move couldn't put Savage away, but that shoulder tackle, by God, that will end his career.
That shoulder tackle, man, by
Yeah.
God. Yeah, no. That one.
Warrior immediately leaves the ring to get his coat
Yes.
that he spent so much money on.
The tens of
then comes
dollars
back
on it.
into the ring and poses.
At the mall kiosk, he got that. Yeah.
Yes. He posed pins.
Sherry starts kicking Macho Man. Liz runs in.
That woman's possessed.
They all point at each other for about half an hour. Then Macho and the Liz embrace in the ring.
Look.
80 people in the audience.
Yeah.
I need my stories.
Mom was watching her story.
I am an ugly middle-aged housewife female who was dragged here by my husband to watch WrestleMania, and I need my goddamn stories. There better be a romance, because I need to fucking cry.
There was one particular lady
They
in the
kept
audience
going back to her on camera.
who was...
Oh, God.
She was about 80% eyeshadow. That woman was having a meltdown.
Bawling.
Oh, man.
This was the most incredible experience of her life.
I mean, if you go online and look up WrestleMania 7, everybody talks about the most heart-rending moment of all WrestleManias when Liz gets back together
With Macho. And I like to believe that Weepy McPromdate in the audience, I like to believe that she actually wrote Macho Elizabeth fan fiction, and this is her OTP. And so to see her OTP reunited in front of her was just too much for her heart.
I wonder if it felt so good.
It was just... I could not believe how many people were just
losing their
shit in the audience.
Although, side note here, the Macho Man tells us during an interview with Arsenio Hall, "I've cried 1,000 times, and I'm going to cry some more." So, you're no less macho for having all of the available emotions.
I think there was a 12-year-old boy in the audience that was crying.
Hell yeah.
Who was?
It was me.
It was just, there were so many feels. It was You were 12 in 1991.
I'm ageless.
Speaking of ageless, Heenan says, here in L.A., we know how to handle law and order.
Which, holy shit.
Less than 1 month prior.
After the Rodney King beating. Oh, wait. Did we give our ratings for Warrior versus Macho?
Do we need to?
No.
I gave this a 2.
I gave it a 2.
I also gave it a 2 because it wasn't the worst match of the night.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Which is really sad.
And
Scooter gave this a 4.
Scooter can get the fuck out.
Wait. Okay, I'm driving to Tennessee purely to pee on Scooter while he sleeps.
He said it would have been a 5
What?
if it weren't for Warrior.
What?
If it weren't for what?
For Warrior.
He said it would have been a 5, but Macho Man cannot wrestle himself. Shawn Michaels did it at WrestleMania 10.
Macho Man's a better wrestler than Warrior.
Dude, Macho's a great
Right,
wrestler.
Macho Man cannot wrestle himself, or it would have been a 5.
Oh, I see. That's still stupid,
I might be
Scooter.
drunk.
Can we fucking punch him?
We
Can we kick it? Can I be the new Scooter?
No.
Oh.
Nobody can be the new Scooter. It's Scooter. Why would you want to be the new Scooter?
I don't, but we still should kick him off because that's dumb.
Undertaker with Regis. They measure Regis for a coffin. I thought it was actually kind of funny.
That was hilarious.
It was if Regis wasn't just the epitome
He was just
awkward.
fucking not telling him, but the Undertaker's like, 36. It was it fucking killed me.
And no, but my favorite part was that Paul Bearer just sort of kept nodding at him and waggling his eyebrows, but he didn't write anything down. So it was like 47, and Paul Bearer was like, yes, and never actually wrote anything up.
Yeah, no, and it was great because as Regis was saying stuff, Paul Bearer is almost nodding fake sympathetically at him,
Yeah.
You're going to die, Regis Philbin.
I still want to know who's in the urn. Who's in the urn?
I giggle and clap like a toddler when Paul Bearer's on screen. I get so excited.
He's pretty great.
I wonder if Paul Bearer was cremated when he died.
Is the Undertaker now carrying him around?
Well, I mean, there was that thing with the promo with CM Punk with supposedly Paul Bearer's ashes during his feud with the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And apparently,
That's
Paul Bearer's family actually was like, "We would love it if you used our dad's ashes on that because we think he would have thought that was great."
And I bet he would have.
Yep.
That's
I
fabulous.
know.
That is the man who understands
It really is.
But then, so after the coffin thing.
Then we get to Trebek and Demolition.
Yeah.
The S&M Gimps talk about pain and suffering.
Woo!
Right. Regis Philbin and the Japanese duo.
Odd job.
Wow. That's all I can say.
Tenryu and Kato.
Racism. Wow, racism. Toyota, Isuzu.
And then
they were
oh,
like,
yeah, totally, yeah.
Oh my god, it was worse than the pimp.
Oh, it was so racist.
It's the worst racism yet in this incredibly racist WrestleMania.
Yeah, this was and especially, I mean, this is coming out of the 80s where there was a weird kind of fetishization of Japanese culture because they were doing better than us economically and technologically. And then this just seemed like, okay, we're kind of getting into the 90s, so we can't do straight up racism, but we can do cute racism because it's Alex Trebek, and no.
Well, it was Regis Philbin doing that.
Oh, right, so it was.
With the Japanese. Oh, God. Because he's talking to them, and apparently they can't understand him because they only speak Japanese, I guess. And then he says a few random nonsense Japanese-ish words, and they're like, oh, yes, we understand what you were saying, yes. And it was just the worst.
Yes.
Demolition comes out for their match versus Tenryu and...
You could have just said, Marty, you could have just led with, and it gets worse. Demolition comes out.
The Leather Daddies?
Yes.
Oh, but for a second we saw Jake the Snake Roberts again. Just for a minute.
Wait, did we?
Yeah. Didn't they come back?
He does. I think Alex Trebek starts talking to him.
Because I
and
said...
it sounds like... And Jake is, like, talking to his snake. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I think he's fucked that snake.
And I said, that is the face of a man who has already fucked the snake.
Oh, yeah. I think he wants to fuck the snake.
And he's already fucked that snake.
Amber, I'm gonna need you for my voicemail recording to just say that is the face of a man who has already fucked a snake.
Okay.
Demolition gets some pretty sweet
Yeah,
music.
I guess?
When Kintao comes out, Heenan says, did he say hand towel? Then he says, he's a big fortune cookie, isn't he?
We prefer the term... We prefer the term Chinaman.
Yeah, it's the preferred nomenclature.
For Japanese people.
Chinaman.
Tenryu tries an elbow drop, but it's like a back elbow drop. It looks like a whoops, I fell off elbow drop. The Japanese guys hit a powerbomb and win in 4.5 minutes.
There was a backbreaker in there that was even worse than the last backbreaker that I thought was the worst backbreaker I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So this was the extra, +1 worst backbreaker I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Oh, God. So bad.
Scooter gave this one a 2, and I'm more offended by
What?
that than I am of
I'm
of
looking
him
at my
giving the other
notes,
one
and
a
I don't
4.
even think I rated this one. I was
this
so
is
angry.
a 1.
I'm
right?
mailing Scooter my own poop. I gave it a 1.
This is definitely a 1. I didn't even write it down. I hated it so much.
I actually only had one note on this, and it was in all lowercase. Fuck. That's all I had.
The Japanese win, and everyone else loses because
Racism.
Boss Man. The big boss man.
Boss man.
With
Boss man.
Gene says
That
2
man is
important
not a
things.
wrestler.
He says, I'm going to be the champion. Then he looks right in the camera and says, Crab doesn't pay.
Crab. C-R-A-B.
Crab
people. Crab
doesn't pay. Doesn't pay.
Crab doesn't pay, y'all.
That man is not a wrestler. He's a stripper. I'm fair.
I think that was McGrub, the crime dog, who said, Crab doesn't pay.
Crab doesn't pay.
Oh my god.
Crab does not pay. We get the second ham and egger.
Oh, Jesus.
Sean Mooney with Perfect and Heenan. He's going to beat the big boss man like Rodney King. He doesn't say Rodney King. But I suppose in a way, if you beat a cop like they beat a guy, that's technically like vigilante justice.
Is it clipped? Is it okay if
it's not, yeah, it's like
It's
when
okay
people
if
say
you-
it's like when people have a blog called "Kill All White People." It's
Right.
okay.
It's okay because it's not racist.
Yeah,
Right,
it's not
also-
racist.
It's okay to beat up the racist white
Right.
cop
Oh,
who has this.
But he's not.
Southern flag.
But he wasn't the guy that.
no, but see, the problem with this period of wrestling is that anytime they tried being hashtag topical, it just got real bad. Like, they're like, wait, there seems to be a thing in the news. Let's find a way to capitalize. And then they just don't. This is what happens when carnies...
Sergeant
This is
Slaughter.
what happens when carnies try to be relevant.
Jesus.
So, Perfect versus Boss Man. Here comes Lord Alfred.
Yes,
Hayes.
who is also shitting himself and screaming.
Still shitting himself.
He's so old.
We are 6 years down the line.
Constantly.
Every time the camera gets on him, poop starts whistling out of that fucking
He's
bungalow.
just so excited.
Oh my god.
Basically, Perfect bumps all around the ring while Boss Man begs for a rest hold. Perfect jumps off the
Perfect's
top.
uniform is too small.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect jumps off, eats a boot. He does the sunset bump off of the turnbuckle, like where he goes to slam his head in. He puts his feet on the bottom rope and jumps back.
It was unnecessary to do
It was
like
amazing.
a cell with a flip.
No, that was necessary.
So unnecessary.
He just has too much panache.
It can't be contained.
However, Perfect throws Boss Man into the steps, and it looks like it gave his fucking babies concussions.
Yeah, he looked like his ancestors felt that.
It was bad.
Boss Man tried to kick him, and he missed whatever the heck he was trying to do with his leg, but Perfect still sells it as if he'd gotten hit really hard.
It's anyone's guess what he was trying to do.
That's
It was
true.
all asses and elbows down there.
I'm not sure what was, well, knees and ankles anyway.
Heenan kicks Boss Man a few times, and then Andre comes hobbling out to chase him down.
It was so sad.
The Dread Pirate Roberts has come for your souls.
It was so sad because they kept saying how he was stalking, and stalking was a really strong word for what Andre was
Meandering,
doing.
maybe?
And it made me It made
Yeah.
me so sad.
It was.
It made
Yeah.
me so sad.
It was.
But you know he wanted to do it.
He
because
wanted to-
loved it.
Right, and that's why it's
very
that
sad.
bittersweet thing of yay, Andre gets to hang out at WrestleMania. He loves wrestling, and then
Yeah.
oh fuck, this is so sad.
Andre clocks perfect while the ref's back is turned.
And Perfect does the greatest sell I've ever seen in my entire life.
He just fucking
Yep.
dies.
He flies across the ring.
He
Andre
explodes.
barely lifts his arm up because that's all the poor man can do anymore. Swats him lightly on the forehead, and Perfect flies across the ring.
Perfect lands in, like, Japan.
It was beautiful.
He flies across
the
the
best
Pacific.
part of
That's
that
true.
match was that sell by the guy who wasn't
Which,
wrestling.
by the way, and this is my biggest argument against the Boss Man's performance in this match. When Andre the Giant is outshining you in it is 1991. Yeah. Oof.
Perfect barely kicks out, and the Heenan family runs in to fuck up Boss Man. Disqualification.
And then Schmal's ending.
That being said, I did have fun with it because of Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
So it did warrant a 2. Scooter agrees with me.
I also gave it
Yep,
a
a
2.
2 as well, especially because like I feel like it was a fairly. It was like a lukewarm match that lost steam halfway through and had a bullshit ending, but there were a few good spots that justify it too, I think.
And, you know, anytime I see Andre, it gives it a little bit of an extra.
It's
kick for me.
true.
The Earthquake versus Greg Valentine.
Wait.
Oh, you mean Donald Trump, Henry Winkler, Chuck Norris, and Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, I was like, oh good, Henry Winkler? Like, I don't know who I was expecting.
All
It was
those
not
people.
Henry Winkler.
I mean, out of all those guys, he made the least sense because Chuck Norris and Lou Ferrigno are
Big guys that did.
the greatest fighter the world has ever seen and Mr. Universe at the time. And then Donald Trump, I guess, because money.
Well, I mean, he's been at the last few
But-
WrestleManias because of like the Trump Plaza and because like Ted
Yeah.
DiBiase is bros with Donald Trump because they are rich
Yeah.
and thus friends.
But then aging Fonz. Oh, okay.
Hey.
But
He
it
was
wasn't
just
any
there.
weirder than Macaulay Culkin also being there
I mean,
earlier.
yeah.
So,
No, he's a kid. That's okay.
oh, okay.
Earthquake has a timber spot. That's Greg Valentine's thing. Like to follow her.
Yep.
No, don't steal it. That's all he has. That's literally the only thing.
That's
the man
like
has.
going on before the Who and smashing your guitar and going, huh, all right, if you want.
Fucking. No, that's like going out before Kiss and playing a song that isn't Assholes on Fire.
That's all of their songs, you realize.
Whoa.
Basically, I fucking hate Kiss, and if you like Kiss, you're wrong.
Detroit Rock City's a pretty good gem.
Fuck off and
I
die.
kind of like Beth.
Who?
Beth by Peter
song.
Criss?
The song Beth.
By Peter Criss or by Kiss?
Well, Peter Criss from Kiss.
I can understand
They
that.
sang.
It's true.
Fuck Kiss. Fuck Gene
I-
Simmons.
Hey, look, if there might be
Jesus.
listeners who like Kiss,
Fuck
we
them.
don't want to. We've only got 5 listeners.
Fuck them.
To be fair, I'm of the opinion, fuck Kiss and everything Gene Simmons has ever stood for. Lick It Up is a good jam.
Look, we've only got 5 listeners, and 4 of them are the members of Kiss, and the 5th one is the former member of Kiss.
Wow.
That's true.
Gene Simmons, fuck you.
His blood is boiling.
Quick,
right
sue me for slander, you shit.
now. I hate him so much.
All my fans don't
Anyway.
understand how hard it is being rich.
I love that recently he was like, Rock is dead. And it's like, sorry.
No,
you're,
Kiss is
You're
dead.
the crypt keeper and you live in a mansion. You know nothing of rock and roll.
So, Hart distracts Valentine from applying the figure 4 like 20 times. I don't get it. If you are Greg the Hammer Valentine and you're supposed to be somewhat tough, and you're about to slap your finishing move on Earthquake, and Jimmy Hart gets up on the ring apron, what is he going to do?
He's going to sing a song.
You look him in the
Be
eyes,
little.
and you apply the figure 4 anyway. Like, I'm killing Urdu.
Lol.
You are the human equivalent of a toothpick with a megaphone. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But he does it like 8 times, and then Earthquake manages to hit him and then knock him down, and then gives him the butthole bomb and pins him.
His droopy butthole drops onto his chest.
Oh, Jesus, Marty, not there. No.
This kills the man.
Let me get you a bucket.
Calling it the butthole bomb wasn't as bad. He places his droopy butthole on him.
But like,
Right, what the
but like
fuck?
super aggressively though, like so hard.
I'd like to point out that the only note that I wrote for this match was fat, 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 fat.
The only note I had for this match was ugh, like UGH.
Scooter gave this a 2.
God damn it.
I gave it a no.
No out of 5.
No out of 5. I guess that's a
Frowny
1.
face out of 0.
Yeah. I gave it the little poop emoticon. You can put it on your phone.
Sure. My rating for this match can only be translated via iPhone.
I scored this match a divorce.
Yeah. It was worse.
One's all around except for Scooter, who was feeling generous.
Scooter, who is wrong.
Correct. Man, I think we should just all send Scooter a message like, how does it feel being so wrong? We've all decided as a committee
So
that
wrong.
you're the most wrong that anyone has ever been.
He's very wrong.
Hey, the Legion of Doom is interviewed by Sean
God
Mooney.
damn it. Because there were not enough post-apocalyptic fucking gimp doofuses yelling at a camera. Good, Legion of Doom.
Yeah! That's the promo.
What a rush.
Legion of Doom versus Power and Glory.
God damn it.
Yeah. And I pointed out that one of them is named Animal, and the other one is named Hawk,
Hawk.
which is an animal.
Which is...
So
No, it's not an animal, it's a hawk.
Okay.
Yep.
Pretty sure that's an animal.
Which is, I think, the best like rejoinder you can have in a conversation if you're the LOD is just start screaming at them and then they'll stop.
Animal catches Glory from a crossbody with a power slam, the flying clothesline move thing, and the match is over in
Faster than a Santino match.
58 seconds. Monsoon asks if it is some kind of record. No,
It is not.
it is not some kind of
is not.
record.
He has...
Are you forgetting last year?
He has been present.
Literally 1 year ago.
He has been present for every WrestleMania so far.
Not every match can be a fucking record time, man.
Every match. Which
This
is the one that had the stupid flock of seagulls mohawk thing?
What?
Animal?
Sure.
God, worst haircut I've ever seen on any
And
wrestler.
and I think with...
Worse than all the mullets.
And there are so many.
And I'm including Bulldog's here. His braided mullet.
What about Brutus Beefcake's, like, receding hairline into a mullet?
Better than that stupid double side of the head mohawk. Looks like it came out of Fallout thing.
Yeah.
Hey, the good news, though, is with this match, I was able to... with the match before, I was able to find another wrestler that I can cosplay as.
Yeah.
I can cosplay as Earthquake.
Yeah.
You are not nearly as fat as him, though.
It's true.
Well, we're going to post some pictures on our Tumblr of me. Sure.
Oh, shit.
To decide.
Oh,
I'm going to be wearing a singlet.
See, if I posted...
Do we all have to do that?
Obviously.
No, just me.
No, but Marty, if I post a shirt...
No one wants to see
If I post
you.
If I post a shirtless picture of me, it's going to be, whoa, that string cheese is disgusting.
The string cheese has too much hair.
Did they roll it under the couch? What happened?
0 out of 10 would not rip apart me. Hey, Ryan, I'd rip you apart.
Oh, yeah. So, for LOD versus Power und Glory, I remember I texted Marty a picture of my notes, which, the 2 notes I have for LOD versus Power and Glory is, I already know that this match sucks before watching it. And then the next one is, this match sucked.
At least we only had to endure it for 58
It's
seconds.
true.
And that is why it was nothing either way. This was over in under a minute. I can deal with just about anything for a minute.
I gave it...
They got over the team. I gave it a 3.
I gave it a... Eh.
Is that a 3?
Is it?
No, I think that's
Is it like
a 1.
colon?
Okay.
Possibly
Is
a
that like
2? I couldn't even give it a rank. It lasted less than a minute. I couldn't
Is that
even...
like a colon slash out of 5?
Yeah, colon slash.
Not a colon slash. Come on, guys. Don't Don't slash anybody's colon. What'd you give her?
I gave it a 1.
Yeah, definitely.
It was because yes.
You're wrong.
Because
for that.
yes.
What did Scooter give it?
Like
Scooter gave it a 5.
Are you?
No.
He gave it a...
Jesus.
Scooter gave it a 3.
dude, I was about to have a heart attack.
What? 3? Why did you guys give it a 3?
You need to calm the fuck down.
No.
You're forgetting you're a woman, and this is wrestling. And you are out of your element, because this is wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Only men can talk about it. You are just here,
Men, like-
so everybody has something to stare at.
Why the fuck did you give it a 3?
Listen, we have men like
Because
Jerry
you're-
Lawler and John Bredge.
So then,
He didn't even do anything long enough to warrant a 3.
I'll give you something long enough. Virgil and
You're
DiBiase.
standing on my cord.
I'm gonna keep standing on shit. Video package.
Virgil gives
Does a decent job of setting everything
Virgil
up.
gives bullshit massages. By the way, did you notice?
He does.
He gives Scooter.
He does. He's like, they're doing this spot where he's like, everybody has a price, and Virgil is angry that he's like, oh man, I hate getting lots of money to basically be this guy's like on-screen valet. But he's giving him a massage during the thing, and like he's just kind of pinching him rhythmically, and I'm watching this like, man, Virgil sucks at everything, doesn't he?
He's like poking him in the shoulder.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead. This match is between Ted DiBiase and Virgil. I'm now going to go through a list of all of the people in this, that received an entrance with like theme music. Ted DiBiase.
Woo!
Roddy Piper.
Woo! The end. Guess who didn't get an intro at all? One of the guys wrestling. But guess who did get an intro? Not the guy wrestling. Woo! I think it's because Virgil doesn't know how to spell man. Because he spelled man Virgil.
That's very true. That is not how you spell man.
It's not how
He
you
would
spell man.
lose a spelling mistake.
Yeah.
DiBiase hits a pile driver and a power slam. Looked very
Okay.
nice.
DiBiase's a fabulous wrestler.
Yeah, no, and actually the thing is, I didn't remember shit about Ted DiBiase before we started watching this stuff, and then I'm watching this going like, man, that guy was really good, actually.
He's a really good technical wrestler for all of his ridiculousness. Right. He's probably one of the best technical wrestlers of the night.
DiBiase goes to the outside.
Which isn't saying much,
Right.
but-
And he kicks Piper a few times and then gets counted out.
Yeah, which was weird to me, and I marked the hell out because I couldn't figure out why.
That
he
is
lost.
all I have to say in 7.5 minutes.
I thought the racism was over, but then the black man showed up.
Yeah.
So,
What's wrong with the black man?
you remember all those things about how he's got more steps to the Temptations, and he's like George Foreman on Nutrisystem.
Yeah, and then they were like, haha, I don't think he could spell anything, and it's like, just watching this thing was like, oh, yeah, and then, like, I don't think I would have normally looked at this and gone, this is really fucking racist, but I think it was just all the preceding racism was like, of course this is racist, fuck it.
I think that, and this will be good because this will give us some exposure to getting cussed out on Tumblr, but I didn't see that on this match. On everything else, yes. On this one, I didn't quite see it. Maybe the more steps than the Temptations.
I think I agree with Ryan. I only really saw it hurt it because there had already been a lot of it prior to, so I was I might have been reaching a little bit, but
like the George Foreman on the Nutrisystem thing
The George Foreman on Nutrisystem.
Well,
because
he's
they're both
boxer.
boxers.
Yeah.
Virgil is supposed to be a boxer.
Okay.
Hence his boxing tights.
Yeah, I guess that's his.
Did
gimmick
you
is
look
the
at his fucking thing?
Is that his thing?
Look at what he's wearing. He's wearing boxing shorts
Yeah.
that say Virgil on them.
Wow. I had no idea.
Like a boxer. And he does the little footwork and punches, because punching is his only move.
Yeah.
So, yes, comparing him to George Foreman does make a lot of
there you
sense. Because they are both African-American boxers.
See, but I think anything could have happened at this
Yeah.
point. Like, it could have just been, like,
it could have been anything
Sherry
ever.
Martell eating a candy
And you
cane,
would've-
and I'm like, this is the most racist shit I've ever
Fucking
seen.
racist shit.
Sherry came out in a wedding dress afterwards,
you go.
Which is awesome.
but I don't know why she was there.
Or, like, even also,
And then-
like, even DiBiase could not save this match.
That
and
is
then
true.
Piper got a whole bunch of crutch to the knee.
After
shots.
the match, DiBiase beats up Virgil. Piper gets involved. Sherry saves DiBiase. He continues fucking with Piper. The crowd chants for Hogan.
Piper threw his
His crotch. He
crutch.
threw his crotch.
He threw his crutch into the crotch of the ref, which I thought was pretty awesome. And then they chanted.
Virgil gets on the mic.
Yeah, and he says,
And you know
"Get
that
up,
there still is room for this pay-per-view to fall.
get up, get up with your broken knee.
He's being a good friend, and he tells him, stand up.
Get up."
You just have to want it.
That is not what a
You
good
just
friend
have to
does.
want it badly enough. You with the broken leg.
Yeah, his knee was broken, and Virgil told him, stand up. And through the power of magic, he does.
This match was not good.
good.
It had a shitty ending. But Ted DiBiase always entertains me.
Yep.
I would agree.
That's why it farted a 2 out of me.
Yeah.
Scooter did not
Amber,
agree.
what did you give it?
I gave it a 3 because I love Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
He was the saving grace of that match. Everything that he did was pretty great. Even he was even able to take Virgil along with him for the ride until it ended abruptly for no reason, and I marked out really.
I would totally agree, actually. Although I gave it a 2 out of 5 just because, like, the only reason I didn't give it a 1 was because, again, DiBiase is a champ. But
Yeah.
I think it's that not a big Piper fan, and also Virgil is there, and it's like 1 out of 3 people involved with this match knew what they were doing. So yeah, 2 out of 5.
Scooter gave this a 1.
Yeah, I can't bust his balls for that. That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I only gave it a 3 because I was it was average.
Speaking of ones, Tito Santana wrestles the Mountie.
Oh God.
Sergeant Slaughter burned a Hulk Hogan shirt first.
Oh.
Which is basically like burning an
Sorry.
American flag, I think.
Pretty much.
He had a yellow
Yeah.
Vic.
Don't tase Tito, bro. He tases Tito Santana.
It's even more racism.
He tases.
Will it ever stop?
Nope.
Yes, the Canadian
The racism.
tases.
All of it.
the- Oh, you mean everything that the commentators
They don't
are saying.
understand what a cattle prod is either, because
It's a taser.
It's yeah. I was like,
Taser.
that's a
It's a
cattle. Oh no, that's not a cattle.
It's a taser.
It-
they kept
It's a
calling
taser.
it a
Listen,
cattle prod.
It's a taser.
listen. My ancestors who were like roaming the plains with, like they would use a taser on their livestock. I mean, yeah, it's what you did back in the day on the frontier with your taser where you live.
Right.
The Mountie, the
Um,
fucking Mountie, the Mountie. Even Canadians hated the Mountie.
This is what I have. Don't tase Tito, bro. He cattle prods Tito for the 3. Well, thank God we had that match.
And then right after that, I wrote in all caps, "This is fucking Wrestlemania."
I wrote that Tito did do an atomic butthole.
He did.
So that was.
Scores all around.
Amber.
I gave it a 2 because it was short.
It was less than 1.5
That
minutes.
is fair. I gave it a 1. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1.
It's
Scooter
pretty
gave it a
bad.
2.
What? Man, Scooter is just fucking. He's a wild card.
Amber
here.
gave it a 2, and you're not up her butthole.
It still wasn't.
Racist.
It
Racist.
still wasn't the worst of the night.
That's true.
It's not the worst match.
So I
of the
gave
night.
it a 2.
So wait, what would we say is the worst match of the night?
So
Speaking of which,
far.
Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Slaughter's fucking entrance music. There's a drum roll for half an hour.
It's nothing but a drum roll. Just
And my first note on this was, gee, I wonder who will win this bout. I am on the edge of my seat. Fucking kill me, Jesus Christ.
well, you know.
I like the Hulkamania sign that's like printed out on dot matrix paper.
Yes.
Hulk has done a 360
Hulk has done a 360.
by the Twilight's last creaming.
Right. Oh my God.
Creaming.
Creaming.
Get it?
Oh.
As in, no, I don't get it, Hulk. That was
Ejaculate. Although the
I think you've been beating him
no.
up. Used to cream some.
I think that a more interesting match would have been if they'd made Regis and Alec Trebek.
Fight to the death.
I would pay for that.
That would have been a great.
Although I think my favorite so far dot matrix printed sign in the crowd has been Sapphire and Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, and that's all it said.
So nothing but drum roll
So the drum roll and Sergeant Slaughter comes out.
with his totally
Championship
racist,
belt?
racially, like totally normal, not racist at all.
Guy from Iran,
Guy from
Right.
Iran,
Iraq.
Iraq.
Same close enough.
Totally not
close enough.
racist at all portrayal of the people of that country comes out with him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he accepted the money to portray a member of that region, even though he's not from that country.
yeah, and like generally, and especially during any kind of military conflict, it's like, wait a minute, we've got the Gulf War going on.
He's legitimately Arab, and he accepted the money to do that. You can say no to some things. Mark Henry
Oh God.
did say no to being called the Silverback.
Which I didn't even know that until you told me. Then I was like, I need a drink. That. Wow.
I didn't know about that. Extra wow.
Waka waka.
Okay.
This is coming from the man that said okay
Sexual chocolate.
to fucking Mae Young and giving birth to a hand.
Fun fact, that was not the Iraqi flag that Sergeant Slaughter brought out. It was not the real Iraqi flag.
What was it?
It was nothing. That flag doesn't exist. But they kept saying it was the Iraqi flag.
Did Linda McMahon like embroider it that morning?
I don't know.
I don't.
And also, Sergeant Walmart was apparently demoted because he was Sergeant First Class before, but then in this particular uniform, he was only a staff sergeant.
Oh well, moving on down.
Amber, you mentioned Alex, your husband.
Yeah.
What field is Alex in by any chance?
My husband is in the Army.
Imagine that.
Huh. So, I know these things.
God bless him.
America! So, of course, he loved this match. He loved it.
So Sergeant Slaughter, the champion,
Yeah.
is coming out first.
Because naturally, when the guy is not the challenger, he comes.
No, well, I mean, you guys know that you have to make room for America.
Right. Well, I mean, like when it comes crashing down and you've got to bake a ham because hiding, you really want that. When that theme music hits, you really want it to have the gravity that it deserves. So naturally, the gravitas of Real American by some squeaky guy.
The grab it ass.
The grabby ass.
Hulk Hogan is our national hero.
I mean, there was that
Monsoon does call him our national hero.
There was that one slideshow from like WrestleMania 2 where, like during the PowerPoint, it's like Martin Luther King, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Regis Philbin joins us on commentary.
That's right, for the big match.
Yep.
And they waste time like nobody's business.
They're really good at it.
Yeah.
But I guess you would if you were a daytime talk show host.
Sergeant Slaughter has never, ever sold anything as hard as he is selling his big beat down here.
Oh, man, he sells it.
WWE wishes they had sold tickets that well. Hogan no sells a chair shot, gets beaten down a little bit more, gets back in the ring.
His superpower is America.
And
it's true.
They did some things.
In fact, would you read your top line there?
My top note says, well, they are certainly both doing things.
That is undeniable. Things were absolutely done.
Things were definitely being done in that ring. Things.
By people.
You want me to keep reading?
Yeah.
So for the ending, before the finisher, Sergeant Slaughter does his finisher on Hulk Hogan, drapes the not Iraqi flag over Hulk Hogan before trying to pin him, but Hogan, of course, kicks out and then tears the flag up with his bare hands. Before a Boston Crab happened, I think, and then his finishing move, where the winner was Hulk Hogan. I mean America.
America.
Fuck yeah.
Ryan?
Yep.
Do you remember when we were talking about this and we thought this was going to be fun?
Yeah. I remember we're like, oh, dude, we're going to do like a podcast about like classic wrestling. And
We'll watch all the WrestleManias.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like all those big, goofy, colorful characters, and we're going to have a good chuckle.
All of them.
And a hearty guffaw.
I like wrestling, don't you?
Right. No, who doesn't like a good WrestleMans? And
WrestleMania is the
love
best of the
WrestleMans.
wrestling.
Right.
WrestleMania's is my favorite.
Right. Like on the mountain that is professional wrestling, like WrestleMania is clearly the pinnacle, where you have such classic matches as Sergeant versus Oh no. Oh god.
the pinnacle of WrestleMania, like Big John Studd and Andre the Giant, or WrestleMania 2's Battle Royal, or
and the thing was, I remember we were talking
King Kong Bundy and his midgets.
Oh my god, that was. Whew. But
the Blind Hood match.
Now the thing is, trying to pick a worst WrestleMania so far, which is obviously 5, but discounting 5, which is obviously the worst, it's like trying to pick a particularly distinct lump in a sea of shit. And so Hulk versus Slaughter, it's like, I remember texting Marty and I was like, okay, so 5 was worse overall than 7. We can agree upon this. But I was angrier after watching WrestleMania 7. Like, it left me more disappointed and angry.
I felt like part of my life had been sapped away.
Right?
So, what were your ratings for this match, guys?
Amber?
I gave it a 2 because there were 1 or 2 things that kind of happened.
Right.
I can't really recall what they were, but they did indeed happen.
It was a happening.
There was an occurrence.
Yeah.
Ryan?
1 out of 5 because, and the thing is, Amber, I feel like your rating is totally legit. Like, yeah, I mean, wrestling moves did happen between a man who looks like a hot dog and a Muppet in camo. The thing was, what made me give this a 1 was even the conceit that what if Sergeant Slaughter wins this? And like, anybody who's been paying attention to, for example, the first 10 seconds of the pay-per-view, who thought that Sergeant Slaughter had the faintest chance of winning this, it felt like really bad faith because it's like the most shameless kind of shitty pandering based on Murica. So yeah, 1 out of 5. I hated it.
It was pretty bad.
Yep.
I mean, I gave it a 2 simply because I guess I didn't hate it as bad as some of the other ones. But
That's fair. The rest of them, I mean, the rest of this pay-per-view absolutely did suck.
it was just a bad one.
What did you give it, Ryan?
He said
Did he?
yeah, he said
Oh, well,
did.
I had already written
He did.
it down that he had given it 1.
yeah.
Scooter gave this a 1.
Yeah.
I gave this a 1.
Can I move my vote down to 1? I want to be cool.
No. So, do you
You
remember
can't sit
what
at the
you
cool
gave?
kids table.
Do you remember what you gave WrestleMania 5, Ryan?
Overall?
Overall?
No.
A 1.9.
Okay.
Nice.
Scooter and I both gave it a 2.3.
I see.
Scooter was the most generous with this one. He gave it a 2.2. I gave this a 2.1. Amber gave it a 2. And you gave it a 1.9.
Very good.
Pretty good. We're all pretty even-ish.
Yeah.
Ryan,
But Scooter is still wrong.
if you
Oh,
had
yeah.
not given the Rockers match a 5, this would have been worse than WrestleMania 5. For you.
For me, that's... Although, I mean, picking an experience worse than watching WrestleMania 5... I don't think... I've had a pretty good life so far. I don't think anything that bad has ever happened to me.
This match could have made it up to a 2 if it were less than 5 minutes long. Unfortunately, it was over 20 minutes long.
Oh, my God. I've seen snuff films with better narrative arcs and more brevity.
Would you recommend that other people watch this one?
I would recommend they watch the first match. That was good. And maybe skip ahead to the very quick Undertaker match. And that's it.
That just is the start of the streak.
Yeah. Just to see that.
Right.
And then you're good. You're good for the rest of your life.
Like, just for the historical significance of this is Taker's first
Yeah.
ever match
Yeah,
at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Two Pathetic Ugly Guys and Amber talk about wrestling 23 years after the facts. Follow us on Twitter at ToJ Podcast, on Facebook at facebook.com/ToJ Podcast, and Tumblr at tojpodcast.tumblr.com, where we post lots and lots of gay wrestling porn.
Yeah.
Send us your hate mail, tojpodcast@gmail.com, and join us every Wednesday for our sister show, Travesty of Literature, where we explore the world of wrestling fan fiction. Stop by next week for episode 9, where we'll be continuing our WrestleMania count up with WrestleMania 8. I'm Marty.
I'm Amber.
I'm Ryan.
And remember, crab doesn't pay.
Good night, guys.
I love him.
Amber, stop doing that.
No.
Okay.